Oh my goodness. So you guys know what's one of the biggest things we get asked? How old are you? And a lot of you right now have already given the answer. Guys, the answer is ageless. The answer is ageless. And where I got this philosophy was from the great athlete, Satchel Paige. For those of you who don't know, he was a Negro League baseball pitcher. This is back when baseball was segregated, and there was a blacks-only league, and then there was the major league that was white-only. Satchel Paige did finally get to pitch in the majors after some of the segregation was lifted, but he was much older. But he always had a legend about his age. And when asked about it, one of his many quotes, Satchel Paige was a man of many quotes, but he said, if you didn't know how old you were, how old would you be? And that's kind of to paraphrase. But it's a great question. If we didn't know how old we were, how old would we be? That's going to speak to our energy. That's going to speak to how we've coped with experiences and traumas and how we look at life. And so that's why ageless is an important thing, because if you just look at it based off of a number, some people are going to get to a certain number and say, well, I shouldn't be exercising, that's kid stuff. And for a long time, I think people did. And so you rob yourself of some youthful exuberance that we all should have until our very last day, breathing air here. So we do say ageless. That way, what we don't do and what we're trying to prevent is having a number in mind that's either in our heads or in society that tells us that we're too old or too young to be doing something. Because a lot of times that first one that's in our heads, it's more steeped in self-doubt. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. Look at them. They're bigger. They're older. That's going to generally be when you're probably like, I don't know, between 10 and 15 years old. Kind of that social anxiety. But when you get older, I can't do that. Too old for that. And a lot of times these things come in, especially as we get older, in the form of self-deprecating humor. I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You just haven't done it for a while, or maybe it's new to you, but you still can do that. And that's something we will absolutely support here at Impact Athletics Association. So, as long as, like I always preface, as long as it is not illegal, you're not hurting yourself, or you're not hurting somebody else by way of this ageless factor, then pursue your passions. But again, it can't be to the detriment of others. It has to be a positive and productive notion that ageless is going to carry us through a lot of ideas. And we see it all the time now. I think society's getting better with it because we see and celebrate something like the senior Olympic Games. You see where social media will kind of boost up some children prodigies, whether it's in sports, music, things like that. I think those are good things to have some exposure to. Now, within reason for kids, for safety issues, but I think for all of us there should be safety issues put in place. So, ageless, guys, if you didn't know how old you were, how old would you be? I think it's a special sentiment. And I hope that it's one that frees us. It frees us from a weight of expectation. Same thing with money. If you didn't know what money was, how much would you need? And there's something to be said about that. We put numbers in places. I don't know how much I weigh, but I still feel light. How much weight do I need? So you can kind of put that in some sort of order for your life, but guys, really think ageless. As you feel good, you don't want something hovering over you. And I tell people ageless, unless there's like a real reason for somebody to know. Like if I were to, I don't know, fall off my bike and break my leg and emergency services came. Well, they need to know because there's something about your age that they're going to need to know for patient records and probably how they're going to care for you. But the casual person on the street, casual person in the chat, I tell them respectfully, it's just ageless. Because you're either about rocking with somebody or you're just not. And that shouldn't be measured by a number or something else. Like there's the old saying, if we ask people what they do for work so we know how much respect to pay them. No, you're either with them or not. This goes back to Dr. King's teaching, content of character over number of years, over earning of income, over number of degrees, things like that. Sometimes people are just people, and you can find the good in people or you can find the bad, and it doesn't matter everything else about them. That is just their character. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys, but let me know what your thoughts are. Ace up the sleeve, leave it in the comments. Love to hear you. Yeah, your advice, comment, experience, and it's just it's a beautiful thing to think ageless, guys, and I hope that it's helping other people as well. So, like we like to say, well, first and foremost, I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. HWPO, hard work pays off, and this is the Impact Athletics Association. And yes, I am going to leave a couple videos and a subscribe just in time for this motorcycle.